Well, that was fun for a little bit. And then everything gets ruined by Peter, Clay, Carroll. Everything. Every single thing that happened in this game. Every single thing went wrong was because of Pete Carroll. Everything that went right was in spite of Pete Carroll. And it makes me sick. I am sick right now knowing that Pete Carroll gets paid for what he did this week. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know how sickening it is that we have poverty and hunger in this world, and Pete Carroll gets his game check for this week? You know how disgusting that is? You get that game from Geno Smith. You get that game from DK Metcalf, and you can't find a way to make one play so you can win? I know there are still some Pete Carroll out there, so if you have the I don't know the courage to step up to the plate in these comments and say your stupid stuff about Pete this week, then credit to you, I guess. I don't know. It takes something to defend Pete Carroll right now, but I know some of you guys are gonna try because you don't know how to do anything else. He could show up to your house, pee in your food tonight that you're eating for dinner, and you'd still find a way to defend him, so have at it. Try. But that was an absolute joke. You get that kind of performance from your quarterback and your top receiver. You get 35 points in Dallas on that defense, and you can't find a way to win the game. What are you, the third highest paid coach in the league? You've invested how much into this defense? And you don't get one stop the whole game? Hold up. You got one stop because CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball. Other than that, every time Dallas got the ball, they scored. So, if there is one person out there that wants to defend this man right now, then I'm not going to begrudge you your opportunity, but I really hope that stuff like this is a wake-up call. This defense is terrible. They're not average. They're not really good, and it's just, oh, well, our offense doesn't ever score, and the offense is so bad, the defense gets hung out to dry. No. I don't want to hear any of that this week. If you watch that game on Thursday and that's your takeaway, that this is a great defense that gets sold out by their offense, no. Before I get into the stuff that obviously needs to be said here, I want to single out really just two guys. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the Seahawks scored 35 points on offense. They scored a touchdown in every quarter. They scored a touchdown in 90 seconds at the end of the first half with no timeouts. But I'm sitting here, and the only two guys that I was honestly really blown away by, and as far as I'm concerned, the only reason why we had anything going in this game, really, Geno Smith and DK Metcalf. This game is all about them. They are exempt. And I understand, believe me, they didn't play perfect, but my God, did they play well enough to win this game? DK Metcalf, 3 touchdowns, busts a 73-yarder on the opening drive, drawing penalties. Geno Smith fitting it into tight windows deep down the field, drawing a PI flag on JSN and Lockett a couple of times. So, 334 yards, more like 400 with the penalty yards, running for 4 touchdowns in one game. And it's gross. And it's just gross that the rest of the team can't come together enough to win a game. It's disgusting, and I'm not interested in supporting it. I'm not interested in being okay with it. Like, you gotta support your studs. And right now, this team has 2 studs. Everyone else, I don't know. I mean, okay, Charbonnet, he did some good stuff. I'm okay with him. Little bit of JSN. Little bit of Noah Fant. They supplement things a little bit. And that's almost it. Like we should have won this game. We almost won this game, and I'm like, thank God for the little bit. Thank God for the little bit that did go right. Like this is another game. It reminds me of last week. Last week I said in the video, I've only got like 5 or 6 guys I can really praise right now, and that's how I feel this week. But this week those guys did so much, went so crazy for most of that game that we almost pulled it out. And it drives me up the wall that we didn't. This looked like first half of 2022 Geno Smith. I know he throws the interception. To me, that's a bad way to utilize Tyler Lockett more than anything else. Running Tyler Lockett on out routes right now where he is in his career, it doesn't make sense. And there were some breakdowns in the fourth quarter, but most of it I put on the line. One offensive line, which I cannot, I mean, we gave up 0 sacks in this game, really. We gave up 0 sacks, and I'm still looking at this offensive line like, how did we allow 0 sacks in this game? How did Geno Smith not get sacked once? Like, everybody's messing up if we're being honest. Even the guys I like Cross. And I'm not saying Cross was bad, but I am saying Evan Brown was bad. I am saying that the rotation we had at right tackle, I mean, I know we have to do that right now. That wasn't very good. Like, everybody on the offensive line blowing plays, miscues, just. So, yeah, we put up 35 points, and I think our offensive line played bad. I think Tyler Lockett played bad. He had that huge drop in that fourth quarter drive where he might have a touchdown there. At the very least, he's going to set us up for a touchdown. And he drops it, and we don't really do much on offense after that play. So, Lockett, bad game by him. The drop. I don't think he ran a good route on the out route where Bland picks it off. There was some good stuff from him the first half, but Lockett is the kind of player where we expect a certain level of competency, and this week we didn't really get it, and it ended up being very costly. Those are 2 massive plays in this game. We got bailed out on the interception. Got bailed out on the interception because of CeeDee Lamb dropping the ball. But that drop is going to be something that haunts us at the end of this year, probably. So, yeah, this offense, some really, really good things on this offense. You put up 35 points. There's going to be guys to praise. But I'm telling you, even within that, I feel like there were a lot of things on this offense that didn't go the way they needed to go. And that's why we're here right now. Sad that we lost another game and wondering when the next win is going to come because, I mean, you've seen our schedule. But I'm serious, man. I was so proud of Geno Smith tonight. I thought he played such a good game. It would have been obviously much better if he had let us down to win in the fourth quarter, but how am I going to say anything about Geno when on 4th and 2, Micah Parsons is getting blocked by DJ Dallas? What am I going to say? How can I say anything about Geno when my offense is designing plays where Micah Parsons is unblocked on 4th and 2? And even Shane Waldron or whoever's behind this offense, like, you have a little bit of success in the middle of the field throughout this game. You do it a few times. You have some success. And then at the end of the game, when you're trying to ice it and then go win it, what do? There's nothing to the middle of the field. So even on that level, I didn't think the play calling was all that good. I didn't think the way the game was called was all that good by the offensive coordinator or whoever is behind this offense. Even that wasn't that great to me. So yeah, Geno and DK, you're exempt from everything. And I say that even with the mistakes. Geno missed a couple throws, like the one to Disley. He missed maybe a throw or two on those final 3 drives. DK had a drop on an imperfect pass from Geno. DK had a penalty, I know. But they put the team on their back and did everything they could. So to all the cut Geno or trade DK people, put away the takes this week. Put them away. Put them way back in the back of your closet and see what happens next week. As somebody who has been pretty adamant in their defense of Geno Smith and DK Metcalf this year when a lot of people have started to turn on them, I do take some there is a little something I can get out of this game, even though we lost, but it doesn't outperform the disgust I feel at the parts of this team that allow this team to win. So, team to lose, excuse me. Sorry, I'm mad. I can't get my words out. So, defense, I don't even know. Like, Woolen, bad game. I know he got picked on by the refs a couple of times. Some of those calls were crap, but some of them were good. I feel like he's lost his confidence. He looks to me like a guy who's lost his confidence, and I don't know where we go from here. Long term, it should be fine, but short term, I'm a little worried about him. Like, his confidence is flailing around right now. The pass rush on some plays, yeah. We got pressure on some plays, but there are some plays where Dak could eat lunch back there. And I'm not shocked by that. Dallas has a good offensive line. Our pass rush isn't elite, but man, it is so discouraging to watch your zone defense get picked apart because you can't get any pressure on the opposing quarterback. Run defense held up most of the game, but then at the end you gave up some big ones. So I guess it wasn't a break for the run defense. It still ended up being kind of just a meh day, just kind of whatever. Just okay, I guess. Not really a winning effort, but not a terrible effort. Penalties. I mean, look, again, I know this was some Pac-12 type officiating. This was like Pac-12 refs. There were, I think, 250 penalty yards in this game. I think both teams had 10 or double-digit penalties, I think. So, don't get me wrong. Like, that's not a product that I think the NFL wants to put out there. And that's on them, but man, grabby in the secondary. Every play on offense, it feels like we let the play clock get down to 1 second. And like I'm thinking to myself, like, who played well on defense? Jarran Reed? I guess Jarran Reed played well. I mean, Witherspoon had good plays, but he also had bad plays. Jamal Adams had great plays, and then he gets beat in coverage on maybe the two biggest plays of the game. On defense, at least. Like I said, Woolen, I'm not saying that it's all on him, but there's a lot of mistakes in there right now where it just kind of feels like he's lost his confidence, and I don't know what to say about it. God, I'm really trying to isolate one guy on defense who I think just played good. Maybe Bobby Wagner. I don't know. The things that didn't go well for Bobby are just kind of intrinsic to Bobby at this point, so I don't even bother getting mad about it. Like, he's slow and he's old, and it is what it is, and I don't think it should be an indictment on him. But yeah, there are some plays where that stuff shows up. Quandre Diggs, there were a couple nice plays, but honestly, I'm sorry, Quandre, but I think I could get basically the same thing out of Jarek Reed II or Kobe Bryant at this point. I'm just trying to think of somebody on defense who can just earn unequivocal praise, and I'm drawing a blank. What do you want me to say after a game where you had one stop on defense because CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball on 4th down? Every other drive, Dallas got points. You can't get one stop. One real stop. And don't get me wrong. I'm looking beyond the players when it comes to understanding where this comes from. But it's not like the players are doing anything over the top to win me over. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where I'm trying to figure out how to, talk about this defense productively, and people are going to blame some of the players, and the players, I mean, they commit the penalties, they make the mistakes in coverage, they miss tackles, they blow opportunities to tackle because they're overrunning the play. They do all those things, but the collective is so bad tonight. In a game where your offense goes off for 35 points, they score 5 touchdowns. And they're scoring throughout this game. I know they failed a few times at the end of the game, but the game should be over by then anyway, because your defense actually did something decent at some point. But no. So I don't know. I don't know where it starts. I like our players. Obviously, not all the players on defense. I'm talking about defense played as well as they should tonight. Daryl Taylor blowing the easiest sack of his career. Some of the bad tackling by Diggs, some of the bad tackling by God, I forget it. Woolen, I guess. Although obviously it was better. Brooks, I'm really worried about Brooks. Be better, feel better, be okay for next week. Really worried about Brooks right now, to be perfectly honest. Devin Bush, I mean, what can he do? What can he do, right? He's being thrown out there in a sea of incompetence. Is he really going to be able to swim out of it? And he didn't stand out to me in any super obvious negative ways. But it's hard for me to even, like, I just spent all this time talking about players on the defense, and some of them deserve it, but the issues are above that. The issues are above that, man. Pete, how can you get 35 points from your offense and still lose a game? Geno Smith and DK Metcalf put up 35 points on one of the best defenses in the NFL, and you couldn't find a way to win the game with it? Dallas scored 41, and none of their points came off some super short field. They didn't score any points on possessions that started from, like, the opposing the Seahawks 30-yard line. So they just shoved it down our throat for 41 hard-earned points. A couple of the drives started, like, close to the 50, I guess. Whatever. So yeah, that's where I have to take this. And I know some people are sick of it. I know some people don't like it to hear it. I don't care. I really don't. I don't know how you can watch that performance and be okay with the way things are going right now. And at the end of this year, month and a half from now, Pete Carroll is probably going to fire Clint Hurt and try to tell you, and whether or not he says it, he's going to try to tell you that it was his fault. Because he's getting fired. So therefore, we're saying it's his fault. And just remember, it is his defense. It will always be his defense. And no matter who he hires, that's going to be the case. Jason Myers, you're dead to me, man. That's really all I have to say about that. See you guys later, and stream Go Hawks.